He's been one of the shortest, maybe the shortest break during the tournament. And of course, we had a reason because we've got the winner of potentially the game of the year. I mean, no doubts, the game of the tournament. I can't really believe any of upcoming games can be more picturesque than yours, Alina. Congratulations, and we've been quite delighted to see this masterpiece on the board. So yeah, and then that's the point. I'm stopping to speak, and now please, your
yes,
solo.
Thank you very much. Going back to the game, there was King's Indian defense. The line I was expecting, one of the many lines I expected. Yeah, actually, this is all I had in my preparation. Bishop b2, knight f8. Basically, this is the idea of this line that white is pushing the pawns on the queen side, and I'm trying to have counterplay on the king side, and either I mate white, or white just wins on another side of the board. So a4, h5, and here I thought I had in my file the move a5, a6, but it transposed to what happened in the game. So I just played the same moves, a5, a6. b5, c6. That was the position I actually had in my preparation, but I didn't remember anything further.
By the way, is c6 that useful, or white is aiming to take on a6 and play knight d5? Okay, if you tell me that just a computer analysis, I will not ask you any questions.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand all the nuances here. I just, remember that the c6 is the move to be played.
Like nowadays, it's even better to remember than to understand.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that the idea is quite simple. That sometimes first of all, of course, I stop some counterplay with the pawns, and also pawn on a5 might be hanging sometimes. So, yes, this position I'm usually quite happy when I have some ideas of attacking the opponent's king. Yeah. I mean, just like a dream. But somehow it often happens that I don't mate, and then I lose. But luckily, okay, here I managed. Yeah, knight g5, bishop f1. Here I didn't want to play h4 because then she plays h3, and I couldn't see how should I proceed.
Yeah, I may agree. Because, like, if, for example, you play queen c8, either queen d7, and even knight a4, and you're not really on time.
Yeah, basically, I'm not even threatening to take on h3 because then white takes everything and queen f1, and it seems that...
Yeah.
Yeah, so I decided that I should try to play with the pawn on h5 to have some ideas with bishop g4, knight f3.
Mm-hmm.
Queen e1, queen d7... bishop e3, rook a8, and after c5 I was quite happy because I thought that white just has no counterplay. I don't know if anything was instead of c5, but after c5, d5 my pawn on e4 is very strong because I was calculating some lines with knight f3, and then e4 pawn would be weak, but after c5, d5 everything is protected. Mm-hmm. But it's principle because she goes for my a6 pawn, so I should do something quite fast. And rook b6.
Why she haven't taken on a6, by the way, immediately? Could rook c1
First of all, I have rook a8. If in the worst case scenario, yes, I just saw that.
Let's say rook a8, if queen f1, then probably you have something.
I don't believe white.
Yeah,
white will survive here.
Yeah,
but
maybe h4.
Yeah.
Maybe you're in time even to play h4.
Although with h4, I'm not sure what I'm threatening because after h3, you just play g3, and I'm not sure if I have any mate. Okay,
well,
here
knight f3.
Here maybe I would have because
even.
bishop on a6.
You can sacrifice
yes.
at some point. Okay, so but yeah, that's the difference. Sorry. Yeah, rook cb1. Queen f5.
Queen f5 looked logical because I couldn't see immediate knight f3 or something. So rook b6, rook c8, rook a6, and here I think I made a mistake. I'm not sure, but I think that knight f3 should be played.
Mm-hmm.
Knight f3, g takes f3, and to take with the bishop, I guess, yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, but if I take with the bishop, then you play bishop g2 and queen f1. So I should probably take with the pawn. Yeah, with the pawn.
Is it that clear? Okay, so bishop g2, and if you play h4, there is h3.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
That could be the reason.
So after gf3, yeah, ef, I take with the pawn. And I was criticizing myself for not playing this during the game.
Is it winning, by the way?
For whom?
For you.
I'm not
so
sure.
For example, if you made a mistake and you were...
No, I just saw that after bishop h6, queen b1, I couldn't see any idea. So I was annoyed that all my pieces look at her king, but I couldn't see anything. I mean, any concrete. And here, I actually, why I didn't play this, I don't remember. Because I don't know, after ef3, it's, after knight f3, pawn takes ef3. I don't know how you should.
Yeah, it's not that obvious.
Because I want to play queen g5, queen h4 probably.
So let's say if something like h4, which looks a bit awkward and
then bishop
desperate,
h3, I think.
Bishop h3. Yeah, and probably white has to give up the knight back, otherwise they will be just mated. I mean, it looks like, because like queen f1 is probably losing because of check, and knight g4. I'll just show it to spectators. Or either, king g1 is the move, but I don't really believe in it. At least you have a check, and then you can proceed with other attacking ideas. So it means that after bishop h3, queen takes, knight f3 is the move, but still your attack is on. And
here it's even
at least you're better.
Yeah,
at least you're better. Maybe not winning, but better for sure.
No, of course, I think that she should create something else after knight f3, gf3, ef3.
So, but then the question is, where was the white's mistake?
I didn't like this c5, d5 ideas.
Neither me.
Yeah, because I don't believe, my husband is always telling me that I'm taking these pawns while getting mated, and here that was my opponent who took that pawn, and I couldn't mate her in appropriate way. But
but she took and forced you to show the mate, right?
Yeah.
Just to prove that the pawn, the apple been rotten.
I just thought that bishop h6 is a useful move, and maybe I will play next move, because also there is an idea of bishop f3. I don't know. There are too many lines to calculate on
too
board.
many sacrifices.
Yes, too many sacrifices, and when you don't see any which wins, it's getting confusing, right? That you feel that you should be winning, or at least some very good attacking chances, but I couldn't see anything.
Yeah, it's better to prove on the board than analysis.
Yeah, and after queen b1, I understood that I misplayed something, because now any ideas with knight f3, for example, gf3, I cannot take with the pawn, so I have to play bishop f3, bishop g2, and.
But then you find a very good idea, I think.
I played knight e6, of course, with an obvious threat of knight d4, rook a2, and to be honest, I was not very happy with this maneuvering of mine, but time was getting short, and I just had to play something.
Yeah, so you just created some threats on every single move. So queen g5 again. So it seems that still knight d4 is a threat, right? Potentially, or at least in terms of human beings, it's not that easy if you're threatening or not. So that's why it's better to protect.
So you're saying that maybe after rook b6 I could take on d4?
I don't know, basically. But bishop f5 was a good inclusion in my point of view. I think bishop g5 is also quite logical.
Bishop f5, but queen e1?
Oh, sorry.
Queen e1, what she played?
Yeah, but then... Yeah, well, of course, I'm still delighted of your game, and I can't really analyze objectively, but it seems that you've been doing quite well.
Okay, here I'm threatening queen h4, and after h3, knight e3, so she played knight d1, which looks logical.
Yeah, I'll just show it, like queen h4 attacking h2 with mate. h3 and then bishop or knight? Or
probably a bishop. Yeah, bishop.
No, a bishop just it takes on g4.
But then you take then you
take knight e3. Well, at least it looks very crushing. The funny thing that even, let's say, if white plays g3, could you really play queen g5? I mean, it still remains.
Maybe this I'm just losing, no? Queen g5?
Well, I'm not sure you're still losing. I mean, no, I'm not sure you're losing, by the way.
Yeah, but you just take on h3, and then in the end
you have to include h4, which is more important, because if you take, I think I take, and like all of these pawns are falling. and
Yeah, sure.
at least a very complicated position.
Yes.
Okay, but knight g4, knight d1 was played instead, queen h4, and then you finally found your setup. So with this, like...
Yeah, but I was very surprised when she took on g4 because I thought that she just should play a6.
By the way, is there anything threatening?
Yeah, that was the idea that she would... I was sure that she was going to play a6. I wanted to play knight f6 and let's say a7 and to sacrifice on h3.
No, yeah, but because now it's time otherwise.
But I guess it's just a draw in the best scenario for me. Probably.
So let's say you take with knight or with the bishop. With bishop probably.
Probably with the bishop.
Yeah, because you have knight f3 all
Yes.
the time. Let's say if pawn
You
takes,
take,
which is
knight
most
h3.
principal. Knight h3.
Knight f3.
I don't know.
No, I wanted to take a knight h3.
Knight h3.
Bishop h3, queen h3, queen f1. Queen g4 and king h1. And yes, king h1 because after queen g2, knight on d1 is hanging. So queen h4, king g1 and queen g4. That was the draw I saw because after knight g4 there is queen g2. So I couldn't see how.
But probably your opponent still didn't feel the danger of the position and took on g4.
Yeah, I was quite happy when she took, but a few moves later I understood that maybe I'm too optimistic. But maybe it was good that I was so optimistic because thanks to that I managed to find some ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, all the game you were forcing your opponent to take some piece and finally
yeah, but
she
that's
did.
the clue of this line, right? That
Yes, yes,
you
of
just
course.
have to push and hope that it will succeed.
Yep.
G3, queen h5, f4.
Yeah, a desperate attempt, but we couldn't see the good defense against knight f3 and just
Yeah.
king g7, rook h8.
After f4, if I take with the e pawn, then she would play queen f2, I guess.
Queen f2.
Yes. And I'm not sure how should I proceed here.
Yeah, it's not that obvious. And this knight on d2 protects the very important square. And so you took with g pawn, which seems to be more logical. You're also releasing a g4 square
Yes.
for your queen, and your pawn chain is still unbroken.
I haven't checked this game with the computer, but I have the feeling that white should be winning here somehow.
I think we've got an idea what was probably the most solid for white, as it could be solid in this
Yeah.
position. And I think instead of knight f2, knight b3 could be the move.
But first of all, it's hard to imagine someone to play knight b3. I mean, when I'm threatening some mates on the h file, and you would...
Yeah, the point being that we are
of
going
course.
to
But that's a nice idea.
to put the rook on h2 and then play f2. But the point being that even after rook h2, let's say we make some move, let's say king g7, rook h2, we still play f2, forcing you to take with the rook, I think, because if queen takes knight f3, and you take on h2 and take on d1, that was an idea. And if rook f2, you still can play knight f3, and the position remains quite complicated, you see. Take with e-pawn. Well, white has some counterplay, but it seems that their piece is placed quite awkwardly, and at least you might have a good attacking chances.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not worse for sure, maybe much better. So, but g takes f3, and then after knight f2, we have finally started realizing that something very peculiar is gonna be on the board. The king g7.
Yeah, but I have to confess that my bishop... Okay, let's go further. That was kind of desperation. I didn't see the idea from that side. Yeah, rook c7, knight f1. And here I thought that basically I'm losing because I couldn't see how I can make any progress on the h file. Bishop b7. And here I thought that, okay, time was running and I just have to put my bishop somewhere there and maybe something will happen. And so it happened. Bishop h3, maybe, I don't know if she takes on c6, I guess it doesn't change anything here.
I think so as well. Yeah, I mean, just...
Yeah, basically it's interesting if there is any defense here from that idea, let's say.
I haven't seen, really. I haven't seen. And so bishop h3, what else white can do? So of course knight h3 loses by force. It's a mate knight h3. So what's been in the game? a6.
Yeah, a6, which is quite logical, right? I mean.
Yeah, I mean at least to make this game being evergreen. So bishop h3, a6, bishop g2. Yeah, I mean like rook h8, bishop h3, bishop g2 are just the best moves. Maybe the previous game was also almost perfect. a7 and well.
Yeah, and here I have to confess that queen h1, I thought that there will be some perpetual, because I had like 10 minutes when I made this move. And then I realized that I'm just mating, because I thought that I cannot play because of a8 in the end, but then there is bishop g1 mate, which is quite picturesque.
Yeah, just to show that bishop e3 trading bishop g1 mate. Because you know what, I didn't really believe in queen h1, and I saw that it was. Sorry. Initially, I thought it was a blunder, but the other way to win the game was, as it seemed to us, that after a7, you can still try knight h3 check.
Knight takes h3.
Knight takes h3, queen takes h3.
Can I make a queen?
Yeah, you can make a queen. Let's say, I don't know if I'm even forced to take this. Maybe I can make a check, king f2, bishop f1, but it's even, well, at least it's not, well, of course I have to include rook a8,
yeah.
Bishop a8, still check, king f2, bishop f1, but obviously it's not that obvious. It's not that clean, it's not that evident.
It's not that beautiful.
It's not that yes. So that's the point. I mean, like, and when you played queen h1, we were very, very surprised because we just couldn't believe that could be a mate. And of course, we saw the idea was perpetual, but we haven't seen that your move is just mating. So, I mean, we were absolutely shocked, and I'm quite curious what you felt like when you found that you're just mating. Like, what was your instant feeling when you saw that bishop e3 is just mating?
No, I just had to play bishop e3 because, of course, there is nothing else. And then I decided that I will stand up from the board. And if she finds any defense, then kudos to her. But I couldn't see any because, I mean, I'm threatening bishop g1, knight. If she actually said that she blundered the queen e3, knight f4, that I'm mating on, or maybe even knight f2 if
and even knight f2 and even knight g5.
Yeah, I mean anything that it's a mate, just rook f1. I mean it's incredible how her pieces. I mean it just whatever.
No, sorry. Of course, rook f1. No, yeah. I just show once again. Yeah. Well, basically, we had nothing to say when we realized that we were talking trash, and you just made maybe one of the most beautiful moves of your career in H1.
Definitely.
And maybe the most beautiful.
Definitely, I've never won a game in a position where I was queen and the piece down, and as you said that I could be also rook c7 down. Yeah.
So for example, if we take rook c7 off the board, it will be still the mate. I mean, rook c7 won't affect black's attack. So quite a remarkable win, quite a remarkable victory. And I mean, talking about the chess as not a sport, but about the artistry. It was just a brilliant game, and I don't know to which painting we should compare it, but the game is evergreen, and I think it will inspire a lot of players all over the world just to play more chess, work on chess, and to live chess. That's what you actually, I think, do.
Yeah.
And well, once again, Alina, many thanks for coming to the studio. I'm really happy to sit next to you in the studio, because after the games like this, usually, I mean, rows of the fans should be standing for you and waiting for the autograph. So congratulations, Alina. Just an amazing game. I have no words still, and well, of course, good luck in the next games. And now we really hope that
for next
for the next works of art. So good luck, all the best, and once again, many thanks.
Thank you very much.